Tuesday evening and thought I'd do an update on my fish tanks because not a great deal going on in the pond at the minute, but there is more going on in the fish tanks. So this is my 800 litre aquarium which houses a South American biotype of fish. Obviously there's the big silver arowana, there's a couple of golden severums, there's a normal severum, and there's a pair of blue acara, some plecos, and other suckermouth catfish from South America, and a big shoal of 7 very large silver dollars which keep moving around, as you can see. Now I did have my flowerhorn Lucky in here, but sadly I lost him this week. Just before Christmas we noticed that he'd stopped feeding and was sitting up in one of the corners of the tank gasping at the surface. That went on for the best part of 3 weeks. He didn't feed at all in that time, and sadly Sunday when I was doing the water change on this tank, he passed away while I was doing the water change, which was very sad indeed, because I'd grown him from a little 4-inch fish up to about 10-inch, and for a flowerhorn he was quite calm and lived quite happily in this community tank. But sadly Lucky is no more. There's the normal severum down in that left hand corner with the big plec. So that's my big tank. Now the arowana, he does feed on pellets, and he has pellets every day, but then every second day I give him a fish stick, which he really enjoys. I chop it into 3 bits and he has a piece at a time, and he's grown from, I got him as a little small 8-inch arowana, and he's now probably about 2 foot. So that's my big tank. And then through in the sun lounge we have Simon, the Midas cichlid. I've had this guy about 7 years now. I bought him as a little tiny 2-inch baby, which he started out in a 3-foot tank. He outgrew that. I put him in a 4-foot tank. He outgrew that, and he now lives in this 5-foot tank, which is an old marine tank of mine. This tank gets a lot of direct sunlight because it's in the sun lounge, so algae is a permanent battle with this tank. And what I actually do is every water change I put in algicide, and I've found that it doesn't stop it, but it has kept it at bay. I don't know if you can see, but there's a fair bit here on the glass. It's on the glass where I get it the worst. On the stones it's not so bad because he's always digging in the stones and moving them around, so it's not so bad on the stones. He's quite a tame fish. He will respond and he will get aggressive. So, but they are very aggressive fish. There is another Midas cichlid which I bought as a potential female, but I'm pretty certain because there's been no breeding activity it's another male. and it tends to spend all its time in that pipe. And actually I need to get a bigger diameter pipe for it, because it's getting to the stage where it can't get in there very easily. Simon tolerates it most of the time, but he will have periods where he is not happy about its presence. So that's my Midas cichlid tank. And finally, my fish only marine tank. I've got in here an assortment of damsels, clownfish, and a little pufferfish just there. And this tank is doing really well. It's just, they're all semi-aggressive species, so there's a little bit of squabbling from time to time, but nothing really bad. The clownfish tend to hide a lot. There's a tomato clown in here that's about 4 inches, but that's hiding in the rocks at the minute, so I'm pointing the camera at the tank. And I make my own salt water up for this tank using RO water that I make myself, and add the required amount of salt to it to make it a saltwater aquarium. And look, the tomato clown sort of sticking his head out down the bottom there. I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, that's my fish tanks. Thought I'd give you a little update because there's nothing really to film much on the pond side of things. I have got a little bit of winter hair algae or blanket weed in the pond, which I'm going to have to treat before long. I mean, it's not growing at summer rates, but it is there, and at some point I'm going to have to pop some algazin in and kill that off. But pond's at 9 degrees today. Fish had a little bit of wheat germ food, and they're quite active again today. Obviously we've had a cold week or so prior to the last couple of days, and they were very much dormant on the bottom, but now they're quite active. So I gave them a little bit of food, nothing major, and they ate it all quite quickly. So that's a little update on my fish tanks. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully the next update will be the pond, probably me putting algazin in.